Hey guys, it's the... Damn, I forgot the name of the podcast.
Are you fucking for real right now?
The Long-Winded Podcast! And Short-Minded. Short-Minded? Narrow-minded.
Fucking
It's your host.
stupid.
It's your host, Bell-Kanapaux, and Zipp,
Yeah.
my lovely wife.
Yeah.
How's it been going?
It's been going good. We
Yeah?
tried to film an episode yesterday, but it was too much. The dogs were being crazy and homophobic. We were talking about gay stuff and they were being homophobic.
Yeah.
They kept barking every time I mentioned anything gay.
That's a joke. We promise they're not homophobic. I don't know. Maybe Gary is.
Yeah, we just had to spray her because she got to the top of the bookshelf.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Newly renovated bookshelves.
Yeah, today.
I say renovated.
Renovated. I went through today because we moved in a year ago. We moved in a year ago because our lease is about to renew.
Mm-hmm.
We already signed our lease again, but Cameron told me, he was like, oh yeah, I'll unpack all the Legos, and then he never did.
Yeah, I just recently unpacked all the stuff from my house into my shelves.
Yeah.
So, and that was 3 years ago. Four. I just kept it in boxes because I was like, you know what? Until we're at a place that I want to say we're home for a while, I didn't want to bother.
Yeah.
So I just did that last week. And now you're organizing your bookshelves. But also, I didn't really want to touch your bookshelves because I don't know how you want to organize your books because there's lots of ways to do that.
I'd actually like to talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you organize it? Because first, I'm going to say that before anyone says anything, you can always, odd choice, but sort it by title. It's usually last name, author.
I sort it by first name author because in my Excel sheet it's a lot easier.
Fair enough.
Just like I'm
only saying usually, like in a bookstore, because that's usually how a bookstore is.
Or a library. They have the Dewey Decimal System, and then it's by author's last name.
Exactly. However, this is a home library, so who cares? It's your books.
And I did it. The dogs are fighting about a toy.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
They have a million bajillion toys. Literally, they have over 100, and Cameron likes to fight me on this number. He has over 100.
He's probably ripped all his toys into 100 pieces, and by he, I mean Billy.
Think about it. We got them a lot of toys that were multiple pieces.
That is a good point.
The carrots, that's a 12-piece toy.
That is.
So,
technically 13 if you want to count the little
And
mat.
the last time I legitimately counted was when we were moving, and he had 75.
Dang.
They had 75 toys.
Okay, that sounds crazy, but we also get them clearance toys because they're dogs. They don't know what holiday it is.
Yeah.
They can't tell if it's a Halloween lamb chop or a Hanukkah one.
Yeah.
It's a lamb chop. They're gonna chew on it.
Yeah.
On their butt specifically.
Yeah, they like to chew on the butt of the lamb chops.
They like tails, they like
the ears.
They love the ears.
Yeah. And then if the ears aren't available, like they already ripped off the ears, they'll start chewing on the hands.
Yeah, hands and feet.
Yeah.
They're real methodical with tearing apart their toys.
They are.
I do like that they have a system.
Yeah.
That they both have agreed to now.
Yeah, Gary's like, here's this toy. You can mess it up.
You can shred this one.
Yeah.
And that's honestly what they're fighting over is, no, you're not shredding this one yet.
No, this is my toy.
This one's still new.
This one's still mine.
Yeah.
I just want to bite it a little bit. I don't want to tear it up.
I just want to gnaw on it. He likes sucking the juices out of it, like a nice beef jerky.
You know what, though? That's really me and you. Oh my god, they're still fighting over
They're
a toy.
just like us.
Yeah. Billy's messy.
Yeah,
and he likes to tear shit up.
Look, I completely agree with the your dogs like the owner.
Yeah.
The personalities always match. Like Billy, I'm a little crazy. Do
you hear that guy?
That is crazy.
That's insane. I can't stand. So we live on a hill, and we don't live on the hill. We live at the bottom of a hill.
Yeah.
And these people will, like, speed in the middle of the street.
The hill, I took that road finally. Or I came back from Walmart one day, taking that road. Yeah. Because it's...
Well, now they're having fun.
It's the left turn at Atwoods. Instead of just going straight, you go left, and then it's the first right.
Okay.
So, and then it takes you into the neighborhood.
Okay.
This neighborhood is super tight.
Really?
Like, streets are packed with cars.
Well...
So, these people are going way too fast for resident houses that are up the hill.
This is like a strictly Texas thing, and some people may say that like that's gonna be so loud.
Well, luckily it's already empty. So.
Okay. It's so hard to edit that stuff out. There is one where it was so dry in here, and my nostrils get like super dry, and they start to like feel like my nose is gonna bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was breathing through my mouth, because if I breathe more in this dry ass room... Speaking of, we did get a humidifier, so you're not gonna be hearing all of this, like...
Let me know if you need a little more.
Need a little more.
A little more still?
But you can hear me in the background going... Because it hurts. It hurts to breathe through my nose.
Ooh, this is nice and hard on there.
Yeah. The parts that I did are nice and hard.
Well, you also did the spray.
I did the spray and I did the...
You sprayed the liquid glue on it.
Yeah.
We didn't do it on this stuff.
I actually did do the liquid glue on all of it. Well, but it depends on the paper.
I mean, it's just up there.
Yeah.
We just gotta hit it with some more glue.
So what he's talking about is I had a few copies of books that were like duplicate copies, and they were already in like pretty bad shape.
Yeah, we had gotten them because we needed to complete the set.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, let's go ahead and pick up the whole set right now because it's all right here.
Yeah. And I didn't realize I had like one copy of it.
Well, I'm saying that we picked up like ugly looking copies.
Huh?
Like the original ones were pretty bad and beaten up because I think we got them at like Goodwill or something like that.
Yeah.
And always great books to have, but when they're 99 cents, you can't really be upset to tear it apart.
Yeah. So,
thanks, Rick Riordan.
There was, there was one book where it was like there were already several missing pages. I had gone through and looked because I was like, what am I going to do with this book where, like, I hate when the spines are broken.
Yeah.
And the spine was broken already in, like, 5 different parts. And it was just bad.
Don't look at my Good Omens.
It's...
That one is...
Yeah.
That one's got some bad creases in it. But the bookshop that I got it at was, like, super humid. Oh. So the glue was already, like, extra into the paper.
Well...
You know how, like, if it's real humid, the glue will seep further up and then, like, closer to the words?
Yeah.
And then you don't have, like, any margins?
Yeah.
I had to break up some of the spine because of that.
So, back to what we were talking about.
Sorry.
So, I took the papers and I glued them to the wall, like a wallpaper. And it's pretty cool looking. You can see it in the background of some of my TikToks. I like it a lot. I do have to go back and fix some areas just because, like, it's thinner paper and I fucked up a part of it because I'd started with, like, the really thin paper. And instead of saturating it fully with glue, I did the glue on the backside instead of on the front as well.
You know what we might also could do?
Huh.
Is get some art of, like, minotaurs and, like all kinds of, like, mythical creatures. Mm-hmm. And then put those down first. And then get more copies of... Another copy of Percy Jackson. A real cheap one. And then glue those over. That way it looks like they're poking out of the book.
Well, I could just fix it now like that. Like, there's quite a few areas where I could do that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, just to place it back over on top of it, that way it looks like it's set into it. Yeah,
that would be cool.
While I'm working, I could cut out little X-Acto real tight to the edges.
Yeah. I could also just print them out. I do have a printer.
I know, but what I'm saying, you still have to cut it out.
Yeah.
You're not going to print it on, like, the page itself.
No.
So.
I mean, I could.
Unless you have, like, a white background. But I don't want that. I want it to look like it's right on the page.
Okay.
Like a sticker. Yeah. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, so back to my bookshelves as well. I actually did not organize them right? I just, like, put books randomly, except for if it's in a series, right? So, like, I've got the Percy Jackson series, and that's not anywhere. But I also have, like, the Twilight series, and that's all together, right? But then I have another Stephanie Meyer book that's far away. All of my Stephen King books are all the way around. As well as my R.F. Kuang books. Those are all around. They're scattered. Let's
so,
see.
if I organize them, would you be upset?
Yes, I would actually, because I have a method to it. The reason I put the books like this is because now I can see, like, oh, this looks really interesting, because the books, the way they were before, they were just, like, in stacks on the bookshelves, because we had to wait to get new bookshelves, because I ran out of bookshelf space, and then it just ended up like that for a little while.
Yeah.
So now I can look and see, oh, like, if it's not in a series, I could just pick up a book off the shelf and read it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to just,
also, this is a really good backdrop for pictures.
I know. I like it. Oh, but I also pushed them all to the front, so that way they don't get, like, moldy or anything. I doubt they would get moldy in this climate, right? I doubt it.
Well, with the humidifier, maybe.
But the humidifier's not staying in here.
Yeah.
So...
Just during recording.
Yeah, so it's perfectly fine. But yeah, I've just got, like, it's scattered, but it doesn't look bad. Because it's just books next to each other, right? Yeah. Like, there's no way for it to really look bad.
Oh, you know what could make it look bad?
Huh.
Me adding my comic books in there.
Ugh. Keep your comic books with the comic books.
You said keep your section alone.
Yeah. Stop trying to invade my sections.
You don't want my Marvel zombie book in there? With Wolverine?
No, because that's going to be so much taller, and I'd have to adjust the lengths of the shelves.
Oh yeah, it's a big book.
Wouldn't fit in most of the shelves.
It's fitting in my shelf. I have it on the shelf.
Yeah, but you have it to
really
where
high, yeah.
Bigger spaces in between each shelf. Goodness me. Goodness me. So, we just uploaded last night on Wednesdays. We're uploading our podcast. That may be evident by now because this is like the 4th or 5th podcast that we're filming. I lose track because we do get rid of some footage.
And restart.
Yeah.
And our animals sometimes get out of hand and it's just a lot easier to stop and cut.
We have... Like, Gary gets mad, he throws a little fit, and then it's like, okay, we gotta go talk to him. We gotta go put Billy in timeout. Sometimes we gotta put Gary in timeout. I'm being so legitimate. We put our dogs in timeout. They go lay down, and then when they're calm, and they want to stop doing the behavior they were doing, they can be chill. Like,
they'll come back, and they're a lot more zen.
Yeah.
They just needed to go take a nap.
We try to gentle
parent. They get fussy.
Yeah, we try to gentle parent our dogs. And we try to keep them with the same bedtime. Like, we'll end up going to the bed or around whatever. Or, like, if I notice that the dogs are being bad and it's, like, late at night and we're not in the bed, I'm like, go lay down. And they go lay down. So we try to make sure that their routine stays the same. And that cuts down on a lot of the bad behavior. But also, we also try to make sure that, like, they learn from positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement. And a big issue that we have is that you don't give a fuck if Billy licks the back of your teeth. If he licks your permanent retainer. Yeah. You don't care. I do. That's an invasion of space. That's an invasion of my American rights.
See, I don't disagree. However, he has to learn not with you. Because he's a smart enough dog to figure out that me and you are completely different. Because, here's the thing, he will sometimes play a little bit rougher with me, and he knows not to mess with you. So, he just needs to learn.
I don't accept bad behaviors from the dogs. They know better.
No, I get it. I completely understand.
I've spent a lot of time training them.
Yeah.
And they know better. So when they do these bad things, I know they've been around you for too long. For real. When they don't listen to me when I say sit, if I'm going to give you a treat, you're going to sit for it.
Oh, they definitely do. Yeah. I don't let them
They listen to me on the first time.
Yeah.
But you'll have to say, sit, sit,
yeah, they do take forever.
Because you aren't strict. with your training.
I mean,
you have to, like, they know that you'll just stand there with the treat jar open until they decide that they're gonna sit. I'm like, no, I guess you don't want it. And then they're like, I give you an option.
I'm too soft.
Yeah.
I'm too soft for the dogs.
Yeah. And you know what? Your family, your grandpa and your dad have both mentioned that you'd be one of those dads where it's like, let's go get ice cream. We haven't had dinner yet. You want ice cream? Let's go get ice cream. Like,
no, that's too dumb. No, I'll put my foot down with that.
Yeah, okay.
However, with dogs, I'm just kind of like, oh, you're so cute. They can't talk. I feel for them. I'm like,
and you think that a child that goes up to you and is like, Dad, can I please get
don't get
pretzel?
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They'll break my heart, and I'll fold. But not dessert before dinner. That's different. That's a different level. But pretzel at a game, at like a hockey game or baseball game,
and I'm not
folding.
Against it.
Folding. Don't care. They could have had the biggest meal, probably threw up in the parking lot from how much they ate. Throw up. Mom. Like Billy.
Billy threw up in my hand.
Oh, poor baby.
He throws up sometimes when he eats too much poop. He doesn't do it as much anymore.
Okay, but he also throws up when he
drinks too fast.
Drinks too much water too quickly. And then proceeds to run around and chase Lydia or Gary or his own tail.
What he does is he'll inhale the water.
Yeah.
He'll put his whole face and nose in it, and then he'll start breathing in. And he's coughing, and he's gagging himself to try to get it out of his nose.
Yeah.
And so he ends up throwing up the water. But the other day, he threw up in my hand.
Aww.
And it was like, like, why would you do that in my hand?
See, but that's... You gotta not be so upset with that one because it's a lot easier to clean your hand.
Yeah.
With some Dawn dish soap.
Well, also, I want to make it abundantly clear. We take our dogs to the vet obsessively.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, they know our names.
Either take them there or on the website, like WebMed vets.
Yeah. We have a specific
vets.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you gotta take care of your dogs.
Yeah.
But also, get pet insurance. It's way cheaper.
It's just him being developmentally delayed. He doesn't know how to do certain things properly.
Yeah.
Like,
but he'll
swallow food and not chew it.
Yeah.
It's his own actions that are causing him to throw up. He's upsetting his stomach. He's hurting himself because he's not, like...
Not intentionally, just...
Well, he's just doing it. It's his own actions.
He's just,
There's nothing wrong with his stomach. He doesn't have any viruses. He doesn't have any parasites. Every time, I think it's like every 6 months they do the check where they take a swab of poop and then they see if it has...
whatever tests they run on.
I don't know what they do.
Whatever they do.
To the dog.
I'm not a vet.
Yeah, but we just always, we're like, whatever, do whatever.
They know what's up.
Like, honestly, it's just like... whatever you need to do. Like, the vet will be like, we recommend he gets heartworm treatment. It's like, okay, what's the best one? Like, we know that the dogs need...
You say he needs heartworm treatment? Like he's had heartworms? Yeah,
prevention. And it's like, yeah, he's already on it.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, whatever the vet says, we're just like, okay, cool, perfect.
Yep.
Like, just add it to the tab, you know? Like, I'm not going to argue with the vet. I'm not going to argue with the pediatrician. I'm not going to be like...
hey, they paid a lot of money for their degree, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, like, I may not know... Somebody asked... I don't remember who it was, but they were like, oh, is your dog fully vaccinated? I was like, whatever vaccines they told us that the dog needs, the dog has. Like, I could pull out the vet records. I keep extensive vet records on all of the animals, but... I'm not going to sit here and memorize every little thing that's done to him when I could just pull out the binder and be like, on this day he got his Bordetella vaccine.
And Parvo. Don't forget Parvo.
They don't do it at the same time.
Oh.
I don't think so, not with him.
Well, they couldn't do it with Billy because he was so small.
Yeah, they had to space out all of his vaccines. There's some that they can't do at the same time.
Mon petit.
He was very small.
Yeah. How cute.
At the time of filming this, it's still Pride Month.
It is.
You like gay people?
Yeah, I love gay people. I married a gay person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Whatever title.
Bisexual.
Well, what I'm saying is, like... Yeah, whatever. I don't know where I'm gonna go with that.
You really put your thinking cap on and took it right back off.
Yeah, it started smoking.
It started smoking?
Yeah, there was a smoke detector going on.
Oh my god, dude.
Like in SpongeBob, they said just throw everything out into the fire. You're shoveling it in there. Nothing came out.
I've been in so much back pain recently, and I've just wanted to pop an Eddie, and I can't. Because I have to...
Surprise PP test.
Yeah. For employment, not for anything bad I may have done.
Yeah. But good pay.
Yeah, good pay. Good pay.
And work from home, so...
Yeah, I love work from home.
Worth it.
I haven't left the house in a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
I know.
Yeah.
It does get to be a point where it's, like, too much.
It's the animals for you.
What do you mean?
They
get too rowdy.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They will, like, start fighting each other.
They love just nipping at each other.
Well, they will start playing,
fun.
And then it gets to be too much really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need to stop. Mm-hmm. Separate. And they never want to separate. They always want to lay on top of each other. They laid on top of each other last night.
They love just bugging each other.
Yeah.
If it's not one, it's the other.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And, like, we've talked to the vet about it. And
it's healthy.
It's
just because they're a little pack.
They love each other. And they can't... Oh, my goodness. When Billy got neutered... And Gary...
Oh, he was so sad.
So, we never, like, crated Billy because Billy was, like, crying all night. And it was at, like, such a high pitch that Cameron couldn't hear it as much. But it was, like, in my brain.
Yeah,
so it was, like,
she was hearing a whine.
Yeah, it was so loud. And then he ate my hair that night.
Poor baby.
Yeah, he ate my hair. I woke up to him biting my hair off. And I was like, absolutely not. So we ended up getting him, like, a children's playpen for toddlers.
Good idea, folks.
Yeah, and that was great. It worked very well. And he was still able to,
Plenty of room. He's a chihuahua, and this playpen is for toddlers.
Yeah.
So, plenty of room for him to run around.
Well, and also, he just had, like, a great time with it.
Yeah. And then dogs are also den animals. Mm-hmm. So we would always put in blankets, and he made his little den. Mm-hmm. So it was perfect for him.
Yeah.
He was in the living room. It was nice.
Yeah.
I would always be chilling with him most of the night.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was ever alone.
Yeah, he was never alone. Boys.
I was working at home there, too.
Yeah.
So I was always with him, / he was next to me.
Yeah.
He was my little best buddy.
With the issue with him, like, we talked about this in a previous podcast where he would, like, stomp on his poop. If we crated him, he would be covered in poop.
Yeah.
So...
Not like normal dogs where they just hold it and they don't want to step on it.
No, he would, like, poop on himself. Like, we crated him once. And then again to, like, take him to the vet.
That was the only time that he was ever crated. It was just going back and forth. And he didn't mind it. But he seriously just, like, it was just bad. He just, like, waffle stomping.
Yeah. And
like a weirdo.
So, he would be in that, and Gary would be, like, hanging out wherever, because Gary was already trained. Boys, they're fighting over the carcass of their alligator toy.
Aww.
But, yeah, so, we never crated him. We just, like, kept him in his playpen for a majority of the time, and then he would be out with us for a little while, and, you know, we would, like, wipe him down with a baby wipe, give him a little bath. He was getting baths.
Clean him up.
Like, 3 or 4 times a week.
Making sure those paws were nice and clean.
Yeah.
'Cause, gross.
He started to get, like, a rash from too much. Yeah. Being cleansed too much.
Too clean.
Yeah, because we took him to the vet. We take dogs to the vet.
Although, no missing fur, so not that bad.
Not terrible, but they were like, you gotta stop washing him so much. And I was like, so what am I supposed to do? When he stomps on his poopy, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And they were like, smack him. And I was like,
So, okay.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of smacking dogs.
Yeah.
They don't talk. They don't.
Especially a Chihuahua. So small. He was only like 3-4 pounds at the time also.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you gonna hit? That's just
The
mean.
size of my hand.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
It's just not humane.
We're not Stephanie over here.
Yeah.
So, my mom, who abused all of her animals. But, yeah, so...
Mine just didn't have any.
Well, she would...
Or allowed us to have any.
She would get them and then return them because they were animals. So...
Womp womp womp.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, it's Pride Month, and I've come out... Well, I thought about this story yesterday after we had finished filming.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually outed. I never told my parents that I was bisexual. I was outed. And when I say my parents, I mean my mom and her husband, who ended up killing her.
Oh.
Yeah. So, remember how I was talking about I worked at Whataburger?
Uh-huh. Now you pop your coochie for Warner Brothers.
I'm not a porn star.
Shots fired.
I'm not a porn star.
Fired.
Yeah,
No.
in no way is that song like a good representation.
No, it's not.
For anything.
No.
So, I worked with one of Aaron's relatives.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out because they worked in the same, town that I went to school in. They didn't go to school in the same town. But they worked there, and so my friends ended up telling her because she asked, and they thought, don't put those on the floor because you'll eat them.
Okay.
But she asked, and really they shouldn't have said anything. But they did. They did. And then my mom found out, and, when we talked about this yesterday, that people will say all of the time, like, oh, I love gay people. Like, I have no problem with people that are gay. If you were gay, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
And then I got the shit kicked out of me for being gay. So, I just didn't say anything else. I got outed. And it was not fun. But, I came out on June 1st as non-binary to the world. I came out to the world. My chosen name's Zipp. It's also a name that was given to me, so, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I have known for the longest time about this. The longest time. And even when I was, 12, I had told my friends, I was like, I think I'm gender fluid. And, Tumblr was really big, so
Yeah.
I've gone on Tumblr to, try to see what was, why I was the way I was.
Yeah.
Why I was feeling so bad. And, not bad, but I felt awful because I couldn't figure out why I was feeling so different from the people around me.
Well, that and you're raised in
Mormon culture.
exactly where that's big no-no.
Yeah.
How dare you?
So, I felt awful all the time. And I didn't feel right in the skin that I was given. And even now, I still don't feel 100% like that's the right thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would never be able to transition and, feel good about myself because I'm 4'11". I have 55-inch hips and size L, triple L breasts. So,
yeah.
none of my bras fit me anymore.
No.
So, I do want to go and get a breast reduction. But these things, I would never pass as a cisgender man. There's no way. And that wouldn't make me happy to change the way that I look. And I'm okay with the way I look.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel worse if I were to transition. But if I were to wake up one day and just be a man, that would be the best thing ever in the world. And I just can't. So I get it out of my mind. I try to ignore it as best as possible. I go to therapy twice a week.
Well, with modern medicine, and with the amount of income we make, we can make that happen.
Negative $3,000 a year.
I'm quoting Ricky Bobby. Talladega Nights, okay?
Ricky Bobby always said, if you ain't first, you're last. And I would be remiss if I was not the first person to tell you about the wonderful books that I've written. Just like Ricky Bobby did in the iconic movie Talladega Nights, he crashed. I wrote a book called Crash. It's on Amazon, Zoe Bell-Kanapaux, ZoeBellKanapaux. It is a weird spelling all the way through. But whatever, that's just life. Anyway, Crash is about the 4 survivors of a plane crash who are stranded on a remote island. And no matter what they do, they cannot figure out how to get off of it. Follow Trinity, Morgan, Chaz, and Emily as they try to get off of the island using their combined talents. I'll be checking back in later to tell you about my other books.
No, when you get big and famous, we can get a full Caitlyn Jenner. Don't worry.
Caitlyn Jenner didn't get a height reduction.
Well, we can always, if you want to go taller, we can always stretch your bones now. It's a legit thing.
And my joints being as fucked up as they are.
Oh,
and my
it'll
discs
be just like that South Park episode where Stan gets what's his name's their teacher's balls in his knees.
Oh,
and then he explodes them.
Yikes! I don't remember that episode. I remember when
it's the one
Kyle's dad makes himself into a dolphin.
It's the same episode.
Really?
Yeah.
And Kyle ends up being a black man.
Yes.
Oh.
It's the whole episode. Yeah.
I can't watch that episode because it's so creepy. The dolphin is so creepy.
So creepy, I also have to skip it. I'm like, I cannot look at that. It's worse than Tusk. And Tusk is great. Same concept. Terrible botched, job. But when it comes to a cartoon, or a cardboard, not cardboard.
Paper mache?
Cardstock.
Cardstock?
Is it cardstock?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Cardstock's thick paper.
Whatever.
Construction
paper. When it comes to animated construction paper, animation, creeps me out. Can't stand it. Gives me shivers up the spine. And it's animated. But the makeup job that they did on Justin Long, perfect. Golden. That looks great.
It looks like shit.
Well, it looks like shit, but it was meant to look like shit.
Yeah.
So, but shit in a good way.
Yeah,
it's like the TikTok I heard where Kevin Smith was at his own Dogma protest.
And it was only 14 people.
There was only 14 people. He said that everyone was 50 years older than him, and no one recognized him as the film producer except for this lady that came up as the news reporter, and she's like, "Are you him?" And he's like, "Who's him?" And she shows him a picture of him, the producer of Dogma, and he's like, I actually get that a lot, but no, I'm not him. I also get that we sound a lot the same. And he went with his friend, Brian Simpson? I forget what his last name is. He's on Comic Book Men with him. And they end up doing this interview, and he's like, "Oh, Have you watched the movie, sir?" And he's like, "God, no. I've heard it's horrible, though." And he's standing there with a sign that said, "Dogma is dog shit." And someone got mad at him about the shit part, so they were like, "We can't say that. We don't want that foul language here."
It's how I feel.
So that he folded it, right? But anyways, he was like, "God, no, I've never watched that." And then she's like, "Well, have you watched any of his other films?" And he was like, "No, I've heard they're all terrible, though."
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. He got put on the news.
Mm-mm.
As his friend's name, Brian, whatever. Oh, that's too good. I honestly think I could do some promo like that for myself. I think I could do something like that. Like my TikTok. It's terrible.
You don't even post anything.
I know. My post got banned.
What banned?
The one from last night. to advertise for the podcast.
Let me see your phone. Let me
it
see
got
what it says.
violated.
Let
it
me
was
see.
violated.
I guarantee your post didn't get banned.
I put in an appeal. It was community guideline violation.
That's not the same.
I already put in an appeal because it did not break any guidelines. It's original content.
They like it to be like extra special. I'm actually moving away from TikTok.
Yeah.
I have a hate relationship with TikTok. I hate looking at my analytics. I hate it because my fan base is very dedicated, but they can't see my videos. They never see my videos.
I have that issue too. I hardly ever see them.
You hardly ever see my videos?
I hardly ever see them.
Exactly.
And I live in the same house.
Yeah.
It's the same IP address.
I
should
see
be able
them
to see
on my own For You page.
Oh my god.
I see my own videos.
I hardly ever see them. And when I do, it's like a day later, 2 days later, and it's like,
yeah.
Why?
So it's not getting shown to anybody, and it's like, oh, why am I spending 2 hours on a TikTok for it to not be shown to anybody?
Well, now we're going to YouTube.
I'm going to YouTube.
Podcasts.
I'm taking the step away from TikTok and going more to YouTube. And I'll post clips of my YouTube stuff to TikTok, but I can't be spending 5-6 hours making content. Like, I honestly spend 8 hours a week doing content. When I'm going at it...
We'll see, it's unique content.
It is.
It's always new stuff.
Yeah.
When I always see it, it's great. And I'm like, when did you take time to do this?
I batch make my content. I will spend a day or 2 days out of the week just making content. And
well, what I'm saying is that you do so much around this apartment.
Yeah.
I don't even notice it, and yet there's like
I literally made
50
cookies
videos.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made cookies, and I didn't even know until you were like, "Hey, I'm already done."
Yeah. You were like, I was wondering what I heard over there, and I made cookies from scratch.
And that's why I love you, Zipp.
Yeah. So like, I try to do a lot of stuff. I try to like get my I'm working on my audiobook, and I'm working with the narrator for Behind Open Eyes. She's great. Love her. No issues with her at all. I have no issues. But it's
I heard the first 5 minutes.
15.
Well, I only heard 5.
Yeah.
You heard the first 15.
Yeah.
I had to walk out. I heard it on a partial break.
Yeah.
But sounded wonderful.
It did.
Yeah.
It
sounds
did.
really good.
So I'm loving it, but it's also like,
be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
We'll let y'all know.
Yeah. Y'all be the first to know. It'll be added into whatever podcast I'm about to upload. None of my followers see my videos anymore on TikTok. And like I will post a TikTok, and if I don't post 10 TikToks in a day, they'll all get 20 views. And it's like, I can't do that. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
It's incredibly unsustainable. And it's like, I get it. Like, I'll make content, spread out the word, and I'm not trying to complain, but it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
And when I know
it's draining
that my content will be viewed elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, sure, I could post the TikToks onto YouTube Shorts, and I did that for a while, but it ended up not being the best quality, going from app to app and everything like that. So I want to post good quality content. But it's like, if I post it 1, 2, 3, then sometimes it gets flagged as like spam or irrelevant. And if I'm posting 8 shorts or 8 TikToks a day or whatever, it's not sustainable. Especially when it's like I'm trying to do something. Right? Like, I'm trying to write, or I'm trying to get, like, a good chunk of something done. I can't do that when every hour I have to post.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. It should just be, like, a fun, like, little thing. And, you know, a lot of people are able to just post once every, like, 3 weeks. And then they start to get a bigger following, and then,
billion views.
Well, like, a lot of people do have to post, like, 8 to 10 times a day in order to get viewed by anybody. And then they get this huge following from posting 8 to 10 times a day, and then they can drop off their posting. They post like once a week, you know, and it gets to be a lot of views and all of the comments and everything. But that's not sustainable to just post 8 to 10 times a day, every day.
Yeah.
For no end in sight. And I get it, it's not like a promised thing, and I don't think it should be a promised thing. But it's just not good for me right now. And it's very difficult to, like, look at analytics. I hate looking at my analytics. I looked at my analytics on YouTube the other day, and a video I posted a year ago had 5 thumbs down and 5 likes.
Dang.
So
well, talking about 5 years ago, let's go back to your coming out story.
Okay. So, did you want to talk... Oh, okay.
Well, you're
which
just
one?
going in circles about
oh my god.
analytics. Let's go back to your coming out story.
So
because,
which one? Which
well, you were saying about you were outed.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, it was kind of it.
You just okay.
And like my mom had got with this. Like my mom's husband before that, he was a really great guy. He was like middle of the line. Nothing bad. Nothing fantastic. He was a lot younger than my mom. So it's like he also didn't have his own kids. So, you know, taking the role of stepdad to 3 kids can be very difficult, especially when all of the 3 kids have different dads and there's a different custody situation with each. It's overwhelming, right? And I don't blame him for anything that happened, because it's like, dude, you were not having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, my mom got arrested for domestic violence against him multiple times. And he still stayed. So, I mean, I would say a trooper,
he was sticking it out.
For what? To get hit?
I don't know.
Dude.
Your mom.
And she would always say, he called the police on me. No, the neighbors called the police a lot.
Do you think that she was putting, like, nicotine patches on all her boyfriends? She was doing that method where you, like, need that person?
No, she wasn't, like...
I don't know, because,
diligent.
like, let's talk about how, like, she clung on to these people. And they wanted to escape, too, but also they wanted to keep her. It was weird. That's how you explained it all.
I mean, I don't explain it like that. I don't use those words.
I mean,
but, like, they'll just stay for, like, 6 years. That's, like, the Johnson curse, is, like, you're only married for 6 years. My grandpa broke out of it. His current wife, they've been together for 18 years.
Nice.
So, you know, that's great for them. But his previous 2 wives, I think it was only 6 years that they were together.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
And then, my great uncles and everybody else. Somebody did the math. I don't know. I don't talk to them very often. They're just kind of... They don't get me. They don't understand me. Even my grandpa doesn't understand me.
Really?
Not
What do you
really.
mean? Like, they don't understand.
They don't understand what I do.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, they don't enjoy talking to me very often because they'll ask, like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm great. My book's doing really well, blah, 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 blah. Like, when somebody asks, I'll genuinely answer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that. They're a lot older. They're 60, right? So, I grew up around Paul, but that's really it.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't know me, and they're like, book? You wrote a book? And it's like, yeah, I wrote 3. I actually wrote 7, but only 3 have been published. So, you know, like, they just don't get it either. They think that, like, when you start writing a book, you're employed by, like, a publisher.
Oh.
They think it's, like, a regular job.
Yeah.
Like, you go, like you get your 401k benefits, you get your insurance, and I've tried to explain, like, for a majority of people, that's not it.
You said no.
Even when you get a book deal, like, it doesn't work like that. You don't get a 401k match. You don't get insurance benefits.
Not even newspaper writers get that.
I don't know. It depends on, like, each city. So, you know, like, they
Peter Parker.
They just don't get it. They don't understand. And it's like, when I try to break it down for them, they don't like it because they think I'm being condescending. I'm like, oh no, it doesn't work that way. And they just don't get it because I'm also a woman. And they're
older.
Yeah.
They're definitely older.
They don't see me as, like, my own individual person who, like, has a complex sort of...
Well, I mean, the last time they saw you, you were also a lot younger.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was 12.
Each time, both of them saw you, so...
Well,
in their head, they're still thinking...
Grandpa didn't know what I looked like.
Yeah.
Because the last time he saw me in person, I was 7.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's what he's been thinking.
Yeah.
This entire time, because that's all he knows.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to see a grown you.
Yeah, and they see me as this, like...
And then also, you're constantly changing now, too.
Yeah. I guess so.
Like,
what do you mean I'm constantly changing?
Well, you always have, like, a new look. New hair color. New style.
Hair colors are temporarily.
You always got a new...
Temporary.
Well, you always got, like, a new hairstyle. Mm-hmm. And it really changes the shape of your face.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not too fond of this haircut. I've got a bob right now.
I like it.
I want my hair to be super long. And then I want to just, like, braid it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hide all the scissors from you. To keep you away.
The only reason I cut my hair was because it was getting so tangled on the ends. Because I had so many split ends, it was getting so tangled.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, but...
Well, like, and you went closer to your natural hair color, too, so you can really just grow it out.
And that's what I wanted to do. I was working my color, what's it called?
Spectrum?
On the spectrum.
Color wheel?
Color wheel. I was working my color wheel.
Yeah, you want a full circle.
Yeah, because I had green hair, so I used red dye to make it kind of brown.
Yeah. Well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay, I used to dye my hair this kind of reddish color. And it would fade to this, like, reddish color. And I really enjoyed it for a long time. I did that for, like, 5 years. And then I decided to shave my head and go au naturel. Because I wanted my color to be this, like...
Well, you didn't shave your head. You went for a really short haircut.
Yes.
But then the clipper guard fell. And it took it to a buzz.
Yeah.
So then you just went full buzz.
Yeah.
Said, let's go ahead and restart.
Yeah. So then I grew my hair out for a year.
Which I thought was cute.
You thought the buzz was cute?
I thought it was cute.
I couldn't do it now.
No.
I couldn't.
I think it's cute.
I've got that little sausage roll because I've gained weight. I've got that little sausage roll in the back of my neck. I wouldn't want anybody to come by with, like, a credit card or anything.
Hey, well then we charge them with our
square.
Yeah. So just for that, boom, and then the tip screen.
But
I better see 30%.
30%.
Yeah. Looking over the tablet.
So I grew it out, and then I was like, you know what? I want that red color back. And so I dyed it, and I tried to do a money piece in the front with, like, pink, but it didn't take. So it's just kind of lighter. And then I decided to go purple. And then from purple, I went to blue. From blue, I went to green. And then from green, I went back to brown.
Yep.
Because I just wanted to, like, not deal with it. I didn't want to deal with the fading anymore. So, yeah, now I'm growing it out. Just gentle, just whatever.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay. Well, I had micro bangs for a minute, too.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that ever again.
Oh, and then also, little... Like,
oh, yeah, rat tails. I had 2 rat tails. But then they kept getting tangled, so I had to cut them.
Yeah, 2 little rat tail braids.
Yeah, and I would brush my hair all the time.
Those were real cute, too.
I would brush my hair all the time, but it was still getting tangled because I have wavy hair. And my hair doesn't like to wave up here. So... yeah, and it stopped waving as much now that I'm, like, an adult. So, whatever. But
I mean, mine's gone crazy.
Yeah. I kind of have to have some length for it to start waving again.
You gotta get it to my length.
Yeah.
You gotta we'll start competing, because I need my ends cut.
I've told
Bad.
you. Yeah.
No, I've been seeing some of them,
you
and
look
I'm just like...
shit. You've got
luckily,
locks of hair that are just split end for like 1.5 inches up your shaft. And I've told you for months that you need a trim, and it just progressively gets worse. And then you're like, look, my hair's curly. And it's like, no, honey, it's so dry. I could break it off from over here just by touching it. Oh. Nuh-uh.
What?
You had hair in your fingers.
Yeah.
That is not healthy.
That's fine.
Also, you shampoo your hair, like, a lot, so it dries it out.
No.
Do you put conditioner?
Well, I'll wash it, like, once a week.
Really?
Yeah. I've been getting lazy about it, so.
Mm.
Yeah. I've been trying to keep it dry.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not sweating throughout the day.
I am.
Yeah.
It's too fucking hot.
I'm not. So I'm fine. So
Lucky
my hair,
you.
yeah, my hair doesn't stink. So I'm not smelling my own head. When I do smell it, that's when I'll condition it.
Mm-hmm.
But
You shampoo and then condition it? It's shampoo.
whichever the white bottle is.
That's conditioner.
Okay, yeah.
You don't shampoo it when you smell your own hair?
No.
Cameron.
Am I?
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on. So when you wash your hair once a week,
Yeah.
are you using the black bottle or
Yeah.
the white bottle?
Yeah, the black bottle.
But,
First.
okay.
Yeah. To get my scalp.
Okay.
Yeah. And I massage the fuck out of my scalp.
Okay.
I make sure that it's
So when do you use the white bottle?
like
Halfway during the week or?
well, I'll do the black one
Okay.
and then I'll do the white one,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then the next day my hair is totally fine.
Okay.
So I'll make sure to keep it up in a ponytail
Okay.
while I'm in the shower. Then I'll if the next day it's usually not smelling or anything.
Yeah, it shouldn't be smelling
No,
after 2
not
days.
not the second day.
Yeah.
So then, the next day, then I'll take the white bottle. And
Do you put it on your scalp or just your ends?
just the ends?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll work it through.
No, because when you said that, I thought you meant you only use conditioner.
No.
And I was like, no.
No, I know.
We don't have the hair type for that.
No.
We have similar hair types.
Yeah.
Really similar. So we use the same shampoo.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny when your
No.
dad's wife freaked out about that. She was like, oh, that's weird.
Well, our hair types is similar.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 days, if in the next 2 days we do something, because that's usually like Friday or Saturday, and we go out, then that's when I'll wash my hair again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I'm not using that white bottle every night.
Okay.
No.
That would be like why you're
Too much.
Because you're
It's too much. But also, I know like the days that I don't wash my hair, that I'll run my hands through my hair so that I spread the oil out.
or you could just use a brush.
Well, I'll do my hands and then I'll do the brush, but
Okay.
I want to do my hands first. That way I don't get like super knotted hair.
Okay. Well, I thought, because the way that your hair is, it comes out of your scalp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some bounce to it. It's not straight, like, glued down to your scalp.
Yeah.
Then the middle part of your hair doesn't curl too much, and then the ends curl a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be why the middle parts of your hair, if you were just using conditioner, that would be why the middle part of your hair doesn't curl. Because it's got like 10 pounds of weight on it. I don't know. I'm not like a hairologist. I'm not a cosmologist. And I know it's
I
cosmetologist.
didn't go to school for it.
But I keep telling you, I'll give you a trim, and you're like, no. Because it wouldn't take very long for me to just go, snip, snip,
I know.
snip. But you keep going, no. And then you complain about your hair.
Well, see, here's the thing. I really wanted all my hair to finally go up in a ponytail, all of it together.
I'm not cutting.
I know, but the front of it is like barely fitting into it. So I was able to do it. So yeah, now you can cut it.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get to that point.
Do you know how I do a trim on myself?
No, because you just sit there and just play with scissors and keep trimming and trimming and trimming and trimming and trimming.
What I do is I look for split ends and I cut the split ends off. I'm not just playing with fucking scissors. And I've told you multiple times it's called dusting. Okay? I would dust your hair and then come back again in like 3 or 4 weeks to see what new split ends you have, because the bottom parts of your hair are really dry. And I told you that was a possibility if we bleached your hair multiple times, that your hair was gonna end up really dry. No, I knew. So, yeah. You knew from experience.
No, I know.
Not personal experience, but...
No. Motherly.
No, because our moms both had the same, like, texture of hair.
Mm-hmm. Crispy. At the end, crispy.
Well, my mom cut her hair when she got chemo.
Well.
She just had thinner hair. She didn't have as many. Because she was always sick. She was always sick with something.
Dude, she would shave my head all the time instead of just letting me grow my hair out.
And you always wanted to grow your hair? Well,
yeah.
There were multiple people that we went to school with that had really long hair.
Yeah.
So it was like, whatever. Like, they're not really gonna sit you down and be like, you gotta get a haircut, son.
Exactly.
Bailey, you need to calm down. It's your bedtime. It's legitimately your bedtime. It's 8 p.m. You need to go lay down. See, that's what I'm talking about. I stick to their strict bedtime of 8 p.m. They need to go to bed at 8 p.m. Because they sleep for like 13 hours a day. Or 13 hours at night, and then they have their own little nap during the day. But they get cranky if they don't go to bed on time, and if they don't have their naps. And I'm not dealing with the cranky dogs.
No.
This is a preventable crank.
No.
Crank.
It's Thursday night. Not dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. So back to my coming out story.
Yes.
So, I was Mormon growing up. And this is something that we talked about yesterday before we had to get rid of the footage. But I grew up Mormon, and I knew from a very young age that I was not like my peers. I felt like I liked girls. I wanted to, like, hold a girl's hand while we, like, did the swings or whatever. So, or like, on the playground. And then as I got older, I wanted to, like, date the girls my age and stuff like that. So, I had ended up looking up on the computer, what's wrong with me? Why do I like girls? And I was like 5 or 6 years old when I did that. And so I deleted the history because I was like, how do you get rid of Google searches? Because it wouldn't go away.
Dude, I'd have never thought about that at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I wasn't even allowed near a computer at 5 or 6.
Well, I was heavily abused for things like my parents would find my diary, and it was like, I don't understand what our lesson was about in Sunday school. And my mom would beat the shit out of me. So that was like, hide my shit, cover my tracks. I don't know what's wrong with me. And so, like, I didn't know.
Why were you still writing stuff down, though?
I stopped writing stuff down. Oh, okay. I had my first ever diary, and they read it. Like, I had just learned to write. And it was like, I don't know what we talked about in Sunday school today. Yeah. And I got my ass beat for that.
It was like page number 1.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was like, I can't read the Book of Mormon. I wrote that down. I can't read the Book of Mormon.
This is some bullshit.
Miss Sunday School is mad. and they were like, you're talking negatively about our religion. That's what they said. And so I got my ass beat for it. And so my mom was gone, and my stepdad was gone. So I looked up, leaving your children unattended at 5 and 4 and newborn.
Lovely.
Yeah. So I looked up on the computer, what is wrong with me? Why do I like girls? And fortunately, some stuff about gay people popped up. I started to understand it a little bit. But I still knew that it was wrong, because, like, no one around me was like, oh, I'm gay. Like, it's okay. Because, like, my mom had really, like, leaned into homophobia after... I don't want to out anybody, but there was an instance that happened where someone that she knew was gay. And so she became, like, really homophobic after that. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I can't be that. Yeah. That's not okay. And it was very difficult for me. And then, like, I was able to get, like, access to a phone pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was because I was watching the house at like 8 years old and, you know, making sure nothing was happening. And that's the same time that, like, my stepdad, who was, like, mini deployed, he was gone doing training on the boat for a few weeks in the Coast Guard.
Uh-huh.
And he came back and I had that kidney infection because there was no water in the house.
Yeah, when you
because my mom was nowhere to be found. Like, situations like that, they decided I needed a phone. And then I, like, lived with my father, the man presumed to be my father, and I had access to the internet for 1 hour a day. But my stepmom watched, so I had to take my DS, because they got me a DS. And I tried to connect to the internet, and you could connect to the internet. So I was, like, doing more and more research. And then they found the search history.
Oh my, not on the DS?
Yes, on my DS. Oh, I was like, why do I want to kiss girls? Is it wrong to kiss girls? I was like 9 or 10. And my dad was very tact about it. Like, he sat me down and he was like, let's talk about it. He was a good parent. He was very much like, let's talk about it. And he was very accepting. He was just, like, normal about it. And he just told me a lot of people aren't going to accept that. But that's okay. We'll move on from it, you know? And then, like, I still didn't understand because he didn't fully, like, no one got it in 2012. Like,
yeah.
Like, the people I was around didn't get it because I grew up in the South.
South, and then also your parents are
very
first-gen
Republican. Cameron got that wrong. I'm editing the podcast currently, but my parents are not first gen. I'm a first gen American. Yeah.
Immigrants.
Yeah. So
they have their own country's thoughts on this subject.
Yeah.
So, and they were raised in a completely different time.
Yeah.
By completely different people.
Yeah.
People's mindsets. So, it's a lot of factors that come together.
Yeah.
To brew this concoction.
Yeah. So I went back to my mom's house.
It makes you a wonderful writer.
Yeah. I went back to my mom's house. I was 11. And I had a 12th birthday party. Which was like the first ever really birthday party I had. That was for me. Because there were multiple people that we knew who had birthdays close to mine. So we would do like a combined birthday party. And it would just be like a cake and like a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And so we had a legit birthday party, right? Things were better. My mom was married to a new guy. She wasn't doing it on her own. He had a good job. He was in the army. Mm-hmm. And then he got a job with the school district. So, you know, money was good,
benefits,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a birthday party. And I had this crush on my friend. She came over. And we got in trouble for cuddling. We were just cuddling in my bed, but we got in a lot of trouble for that. And so, yeah, no more parties for me. Until I was 15, I couldn't have another birthday party. Yeah, so, well, I was turning 16, and then I made a Xanax cake. I made a cake that was shaped like a Xanax bar, which is not good, but I was popping them.
I was popping.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
So then at that point, my mom took my phone away. She took my laptop away. She took everything away. And I was only allowed to have like 1 or 2 friends. And the one friend, my mom knew like their family was going to be like accepting, but they were going to tell her if anything went on.
Yeah.
So it was like, great. And then I couldn't stay the night at anybody's house. I couldn't get away from anything that my mom was doing. Getting arrested for domestic violence on my birthday. That was the same birthday that she got arrested for domestic violence.
16?
Huh?
At 16?
No, 12.
12.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like, it was just awful. Like, so much awful shit happened. And so then I decided, like, once we moved to Texas, I was like, whatever, dude. She's not gonna find out. She doesn't know anybody down here. So I started being me a little bit more. And I wasn't telling everybody. Like, I wasn't just like, hello.
Hi.
I'm bisexual. What's your name? Like, that's not how I was But I did have a few friends. And you know those friends. I did have a few friends who were bisexual, and then I moved school districts.
Well, they definitely were. Hi! I'm...
Yeah! And I got, like, my first friend that I could have for, like, years. And she got it. People just understood. My friend group understood. And it wasn't an issue. And then that friend group dissolved, and I got outed to my mom. Not by anybody in that friend group, but, you know. And it was not a great experience, and I hated my life. You know how much I hated my life.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons Aaron would call me a fag all the time. He would be like, "Wake up, faggot." And I'd be like, "Oh my fucking god." Like,
Jeez.
that's how I would wake up in the morning.
That's gross.
Yeah. He would, like, pull the sheets off me and let the dog piss in my bed. And life was fucking awful, because I didn't have a door on my bedroom.
Yeah.
And there was no reason for it. They just took it away, because it was, like, another level of control. I couldn't be in my room just comfortable. It was hot as fuck outside. I couldn't just lay in my sheets naked. No. No one can fucking do that now. So, yeah. It was awful. And I just had to, like, get over it. I had to, like, move on from it. And no one around me wanted to just move on from it. And when I was 12, when I was getting baptized in the Mormon church, because I didn't get baptized at 8, which is, like, the time that you're supposed to get baptized. The missionary asked me, he was like, "Have you ever felt any same-sex attraction?" I know the answer is going to be no, but we have to ask. And I knew it was a wrong answer. Like, I knew there was a right and a wrong answer, and that I had to say the right answer, or else they were going to tell my mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. And
Of course
I didn't feel bad for lying. I felt bad that I had to lie.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like there was something wrong with me because I didn't know a lot of people that could be Mormon and gay. So, my life just fucking sucked for a long time.
I mean, I'd have put the blame on the church and been like, well, you know what? Go fuck yourselves for not accepting me.
Yeah.
Especially with all the bullshit, like, procedures they have.
Oh, I think that may have been why my mom was so insistent on having me marry that one kid.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, my mom wanted to put me in an arranged marriage. She wanted me to have an arranged marriage so bad.
We can say betrothed because nobody knows who the betrothed is.
Yeah, and I felt so bad because it was just like, oh.
But you know what? Your betrothed is also a really nice person,
yeah.
So you can't, like, blame anyone for the choice.
It's not his fault.
Yeah. It's both parties were not willing.
Yeah.
It was an arranged marriage.
I did make some notes about animals that have gay activities.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is you didn't know. So, cardinals, the bird, they're non-binary. They don't have female or male. Also, blue lobsters.
Like, they have both parts?
No, that would be intersex.
Oh.
So, they just don't. They just reproduce by themselves, and then they don't have to have a female and a male anatomy to reproduce. It's just their own anatomy that reproduces.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they just make the egg and it's already fertilized?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's actually a really cool,
It's like cloning.
I guess not mutation, but I guess it's a mutation.
You're not a scientist.
No.
Blue lobsters. You know how much I've been loving the videos of knit lobsters and how much it's made me want to learn how to knit? But I'm so bad at knitting. I crochet. That's my thing.
Oh, why don't you... Is it... Well, you know how you can fake a crochet with a knit?
Mm-hmm.
Can you fake a knit with a crochet?
So there are some types of stitches.
Or is it harder?
And I mean, it's gonna be hard if you switch it, no matter what.
Right.
But there is, you know my long crochet hook that's like the size of my forearm?
Crochet hook?
my crochet hook.
Yeah.
That's used for Tunisian crochet, which makes a knit-like pattern. So the length of the thing, you're working lengthwise, and you have a ton of loops on your hook, right? Instead of having like maybe like 5. You know me, I have a lot on my hook, a lot.
Yeah.
But you'll have the whole length. Like, let's say the length is 100 stitches. You'll have all 100 loops on your hook at once. And that's why you have to have the big crochet hook to do that. Right? So that makes it like knit. But it's still technically crochet because you're not using a knitting needle to do it. You're using a crochet hook. So, I don't know how you would use that to work in the round, though. Which is what you would have to do for the lobster. Working in the round is just, like, if you've ever seen anybody make a pair of socks, and they have, like, 4 or 5 knitting needles, and it looks, like, kind of random, or it looks like they're making a triangle, that's working in the round with knitting. I don't know how you would do that with Tunisian crochet, with the 1 crochet hook.
Yeah.
Because that's really big, and crochet is just having 1 hook. That's part of it. So I don't know how you would do that. But blue lobsters don't have to have any sort of male or female.
Really?
Yeah, they're just blue lobster.
You know how rare blue lobsters are?
I think blue lobsters are super cool.
I'm saying they're super rare.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't ever see them.
Oh.
They're super, super
Yeah,
rare.
you don't ever see them because you aren't a lobsterman.
Well, what I'm saying is I've watched them, like...
What does it show? What is the show? Deadliest Catch?
Deadliest Catch.
I want to fucking watch Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
I'm so into Deadliest Catch.
I've seen some clips where they've, like, pulled blue lobsters out and they're just like, whoa! Alright, see you, little buddy. They just throw them back in because I don't think you're allowed to keep them.
Probably not. If they're rare,
yeah,
then that would mean that they may be endangered.
Yeah. I've also seen, like, scientists going through and, like, tracking them, so they'll try and find these blue lobsters because they know where they're at.
Oh.
So.
Speaking of...
I think it has to do with the coldness of the water.
I am obsessed with Missoula, Montana. I am obsessed with Missoula, Montana.
Is that the capital, or...?
I don't know if it's the capital of Montana, but they have trout fishing and fly fishing. And I could be a fisherman. I could put my little worm, because worms were on the list as well, of animals that are non-binary. Worms are non-binary.
So you're saying you're going to put your little worm out there to catch a big fish?
Yeah. And then I'll use my grandpa's fish fry recipe.
Nice.
Dude, I want to move to Montana so bad.
Montana.
Well, you know me. I said the other day, I was like, what about Alaska?
Homesteading.
But Montana is by Canada. It's up against the Canadian, what's it called? Right next to Idaho. Which is next to Oregon and Washington.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they could be, dual citizens.
Oh, I was like, dual citizens of Montana and Texas? No. Of Canada and the U.S.?
Canada and the U.S.
Well, we'd have to look into that, because I'm not very familiar with dual citizenship.
We could buy a house in Canada. Like a ski resort house.
Yeah, because that's...
A little cabin.
That's really,
little cabin.
Cost effective.
Yeah.
In our budget.
So when you're a writer, you know?
Yeah, well, I am a writer.
Well, what I'm saying is, when you're Stephen King level,
yeah,
we can go out to the cabin. And
I think it's the cocaine that I'm missing out on.
No. It's the cabin fever that you need.
I would love cabin fever.
Yeah, that way you can write your own. What's it called?
Are you talking about the one where he's in the Colorado?
Shining.
The Shining, yeah.
Yes, the Shining.
I was thinking of Dr. Sleep as the name.
That's the next book.
Yeah,
so
The Shining.
You're not too wrong. But yeah, I think you could do that.
I love the feeling of cabin fever. When you're in, like, an area for too long and there's snow outside, you can't really do anything about the snow. I love it. I love it.
Please send help. Please, SOS.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding. I love her. It's all jokes.
Yeah. Jokes.
Oh, and then we could recreate the Family Guy. Peter without Cheetos is all.
What?
It's, you haven't seen that episode where,
I've seen every episode of Family Guy 10 times.
okay, so Peter, they're doing The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
And Peter's eating the Cheetos.
Yeah.
And it's, Peter without Cheetos is work without no play, doing the Jack thing. Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, stop, I'm mid-script, and he picks it up, and he's got Cheeto dust all over the thing.
Cheeto dust.
Yeah, because he's still eating out of the bag.
Yes.
Totally us.
Me as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Super wild tangent.
Yeah, I really want to move to Montana. It's expensive, though, so... But you know what isn't expensive? My books on Amazon. That's right. Paperbacks, $11 or less. Hardcovers, $18 or less. My latest book that I just released was called Behind Open Eyes, and it tells the story of a local author who receives a mysterious letter in the mail, a local celebrity, former teacher, who's admitting to being a groomer. And she decides to investigate this and finds that there's way more to the story than what this predator let on. Talks about the effects that happen to the person that's groomed. I wanted to really tell the story of the victim in the book instead of glorifying the abuser. So if that's the type of book that you're looking for, this one would be perfect for you. Okay, I also wanted to clear something up while there's a lull in conversation. And I just edited and posted the first the first episode of our podcast, and in that I mentioned that I celebrated Christmas. But if you've come from my TikTok, you know I'm Jewish, so that may be a red flag for some people. Part of my family is Jewish, part of my family was Mormon, so I did end up converting after I was excommunicated. I was excommunicated when I was like 18. So,
papers and all.
Yeah, they sent me letter in the mail. They tracked down my address and sent me a letter in the mail. I don't think it's too hard for them. They have, like, crazy genealogy.
I was about to say,
and did you know,
a professional.
Did you know you can get baptized for the dead? Like, you could get baptized for your grandpa Victor. If you wanted to, if you were Mormon. You could get baptized for him.
For him?
Yeah, and then his soul would be saved.
Jeez,
that's how it was explained to me. And I was like, but what if that person's in hell? Then what happens? I was so for real.
Joseph Smith personally walks him up to heaven.
I was being for real because like
he's like, hey, buddy, your grandson saved you. Come on,
you just got picked.
Let's go.
You know, like
you're the number one draft pick.
And I asked because it's not quite understandable the way that they explain certain things.
So why aren't? Well, could you like theoretically? Is it only your family that you can do that for?
To my understanding, no. Because my mom did get baptized for somebody else that she didn't, like, she wasn't related to them, really. But she was like, they're like family to me. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if like family counts as family.
I was going to say, why don't Mormon missionaries, like, go through the cemetery and, like...
pick all the names?
Just go through every single name. And
well, that would make too much sense for
You're blessed.
It's not blessed.
Joseph Smith. Come pick his ass up.
Because he's lazy. You don't want to be doing all that.
Joseph Smith said, hey, I got a lot of shit to do.
Yeah. But my whole thing I asked, and I never got a clear answer on it, was, like, what if that person went to hell?
Yeah.
And you got baptized for them? Because, like, I asked multiple times, I was like, so if somebody doesn't get baptized, do they go to hell? Well, it depends. Because, like, did they have the opportunity to hear about Joseph Smith? Did they have the opportunity to hear about Jesus? Did they have the opportunity to hear about God? And it's like, that's not what I asked. What about, like, a Protestant or a Catholic person? Would they go to hell?
Well, see, then that brings up the question, if you denied to talk to a Mormon missionary, does that sentence you to hell? Because that's opening you to Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
And then you denied him. Send your ass to hell.
And then what if you get baptized for someone that's already passed away? Or, let's say, because I don't know when this practice became a thing, but it was definitely a practice when I was a Mormon. What if this person was born or died before Joseph Smith discovered the Book of Mormon? what would happen to that person? Because obviously they didn't know.
Redeemed?
Yeah, was every single person redeemed? Because the Mormon church wasn't a thing until the mid-1800s. Was that...
Would that make Jesus redeemed by Joseph Smith?
Jesus was Jewish. I don't know. And still to this day, I don't have an answer on, like, if you get baptized for someone that went to hell...
I want to do the Kevin Smith and just go over to them and be like, hey, I got a lot of shit to talk about. With, like, a scroll. I would bring a scroll handwritten. Like, in kanji.
I've got a lot of questions.
I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I think there is a Mormon church around here.
Ooh. Well, I did deny, what's it called?
They came here?
No.
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
They're not at all related to Mormons. Yeah. And I don't know a lot about Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, if there was some Mormons, I would definitely invite them in.
We can invite them to our house.
What?
We can invite Mormon missionaries to our house. Yeah? Yes. But if you're interested in learning about my deconstruction and my step away from Mormonism, in the beginning of my book, The Axe Forgets of the True Remembers, I wrote about it. I wrote about how I ended up becoming Jewish because I saw so much of my family that was Jewish. And I was like, you know what? This is for me. I wrote about it in The Axe Forgets of the True Remembers. I also wrote about my whole experience with my mother and how when she was diagnosed with cancer, I was really scared. So I was genuinely having panic attacks every day because I didn't know what it would be like to live without my mom. And despite her being so awful all the time, I didn't know if I could make it on my own. And I can. Spoiler alert, I can. But if you're interested in that book, it is one of the first links in the description of this video. Thank you so much for listening this far into our podcast. We do have to break up this podcast recording into 2 different episodes, but don't worry, you can hear part 2 next week. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait for you guys to hear the second part. Bye-bye.